saha jayante patakaschacha sarvesham gurunartino. So we're continuing with Caitanya-Caritāmṛta this morning, chapter 14 of the Madhya-līlā. We've been hearing about the Rath Yatra and Mahaprabhu's mood of divine love at that time. And now we're hearing performance of the Vṛndāvana pastimes. Mahaprabhu goes to take rest in a garden that is nearby. Gora Pashyan Atma Vrindai Shri Lakshmi Vijayotsavam Shutva Gopira Solasam Hrishtva Premna Nanarta Sa. Accompanied by his personal devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the festival known as Lakshmi Vijayotsav. There he discussed the super excellent love of the gopis. Just by hearing about them, he became very pleased and danced in great ecstatic love for the Lord. So, at the beginning of each chapter, right, there's a Sanskrit verse which is summarizing the chapter as a whole, right? So that's that verse. So this festival's coming up, right? During the Rath Yatra festival, there's perhaps three main stages to it. There's the festival, bring the most popular, that's not the right word, but the one that is the main focus, you can say, is when they're bringing Jagannath out from his main temple, bringing him to the Gundicha temple, right? That's the main focus of the Rath Yatra ceremony. But then after that, there's another festival when Lakshmi Devi becomes upset because her husband just disappeared, gone to some unknown place, possibly consorting with other unknown women. So Lakshmi Devi becomes a little upset, understandably. Her husband's gone AWOL. He said he was just going for a walk, but hasn't come back. And she's heard about his old girlfriends in Vṛndāvana. So she's a little concerned. So she comes out in her full glory, right, with all decked out in her best dress, right, all her ornaments, and all of her attendants are also looking very grand, and she goes to see what her husband's doing, bring him back. And then it's very humorous, right? Oh, well, I suppose everybody knows this pastime, so I'm not spoiling it. We can just relive it, right? And then they beat the servants of Jagannath, like, what are you doing? Why did you bring him away from our mistress, right? So then that's the second festival event. And then they bring Jagannath back, right? Actually, the servants of Jagannath, they get arrested by the servants of Lakshmi Devi, right? I haven't seen it. Maybe Saraswati Ji has seen that festival, or Sachi Ji, or Pandita. So that's the second festival. So that's what's being mentioned here. And then the third one is, the event of actually bringing Jagannath back, the return car festival, right? So now we're continuing with this, whole festival as a whole. Jaya Jaya Gaur Chandra Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Danya. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known as Gaur Chandra. All glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Acharya, who is so exalted. Jaya Jaya Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktagan Jaya Shota Ganjar Gaur Pranadan. All glories to all the devotees headed by Srivas Thakur. All glories to the readers who have taken Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as their life and soul. Actually, it says Shotagan, the listeners of Caitanya-Caritāmṛta. Jar Gaur Pranadan, for whom Gaura is their pran, their life, we were discussing yesterday, right? Their life air, and also their dan, means their wealth.
Dan is wealth?
Yes. Well, D-H-A-N, and then D-A-N means like giving, gift, or charity, like that. Yeah, it gets tricky, right? You have to make sure the spelling's right, otherwise it's a different meaning. But yes, Dhan means their wealth. Himata Prabhuvachen Premede Aveshe Hinokale Pratapanuja Korilo Braveshe. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting in ecstatic love, Maharaj Prataparudra entered the garden. So we heard that right in the previous chapter. Mahaprabhu is exhausted after all the dancing and the singing and all the ecstasy. And so he's gone to take rest in this beautiful garden, which has fragrant, cool breezes and many trees. And all the devotees are resting under all the trees, right? We heard this in the previous chapter. So, while he was resting in ecstatic love, Maharaj Prataparudra entered the garden. And I'm 99% sure, maybe someone can confirm, that previously Prataparudra Maharaj had been advised to do this, right? Because remember, this is kind of like one of the subplots, right? Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, that King Prataparudra, he wants to get the mercy of the Lord. And so there are so many moments when he, he's consulting with the devotees and he's trying different things, right? He's taking shelter of the devotees in his desire to receive the mercy of Mahaprabhu, which is a very intelligent strategy. And so they're always advising him and trying to find a way to help him, right? And now already, King Prataparudra has, he already has put himself in Mahaprabhu's favor by sweeping the road, right, in front of the Jagannath cart, because the Lord is pleased when the devotees do humble seva, right? That touches his heart. And so that the king, from his high position, is doing this menial service of sweeping the road. Mahaprabhu's heart is captured by that, right? That was mentioned previously. And I recall that earlier on, King Prataparudra had been advised, when after the Rath Yatra, Mahaprabhu will be tired, he'll go and take rest. So that time you can go and massage his feet like that, A little bit taking advantage of Mahaprabhu because he's unconscious. But they also know the inner heart of Mahaprabhu. And they know that although Mahaprabhu is apparently refusing to meet the king, actually in his heart he's very happy about the king. He's touched by his devotion, right? But for, matters of the public, he's, ostensibly showing anger and refusing to meet him. And also to churn the whole Leela further, right? Oh yes, that's right, yeah, that was the next one. Following Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's instruction, so it was Sarvabhauma's advice to him. The king had given up his royal dress. He now entered the garden in the dress of a Vaishnava. I'm going to read this purport. Some of the purports are very charming. Sometimes members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, especially in the Western countries, find it difficult to approach people to distribute books because people are unfamiliar with the traditional saffron robes of the devotees. The devotees have therefore inquired whether they can wear European and American dress before the general public. From the instructions given to King Prataparudra by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, we can understand that we may change our dress in any way to facilitate our service. There you have it. When our members change their dress to meet the public or to introduce our books, they are not breaking the devotional principles. The real principle is to spread this Krishna consciousness movement, and if one has to change into regular Western dress for this purpose, there should be no objection. I've heard that they used to wear wigs as well, many of the devotees, right?
Yeah, I used to wear wigs.
Oh, really?
Straight head.
Mm.
Yeah.
Where was this?
In ISKCON, not in ISKCON.
Yeah, I mean, like in London?
Yeah, in London, yeah.
Okay, so you'd go like with like a suit or?
We all used to wear wigs. A lot of us used to wear wigs.
Okay.
To go where? Like to do what?
Book
distribution.
Book distribution.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So would you be dressed in attire?
And normal clothes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time period was that?
This would be 1980.
1980. 81. Okay. There we have it. Living proof here. Sabhaktiragyanilo Jodahata Hoya Prabhupada Dodipade Sahas Koriya. Maharaj Prataparuja was so humble that with folded hands he first took permission from all the devotees. Then with great courage he fell down and touched the lotus feet of the Lord. Ankimuri Prabhu Preme Bhumite Shayan Nipati Naipunye Kode Parasambhahan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was lying on the ground with his eyes closed in ecstatic love and emotion. And the king very expertly began to massage his legs. Rasa-līlā shlok podi koden stavan jayati tadika madhyay koden batan. The king began to recite verses about the Rasa-līlā from Śrīmad Bhagavatam. He recited the chapter beginning with the words Jayati Tedikam. Shunite Prabhu Santoshapar Bolo Boli Prabhu Bole Bar Bar. So bolo means like speak. Mahaprabhu was so happy. He's like, tell more. When Mahaprabhu heard these verses, he was pleased beyond limits. And he said again and again, go on reciting. Caitanya-Caritāmṛtam shlok rajade podilo utti prema veshe prabhu alingan koilo. As soon as the king recited the verse beginning with the words Caitanya-Caritāmṛtam, the Lord immediately arose in ecstatic love and embraced him. Tumi more dile bahu amulya ratan, more kichu dite nahi dilo alingan. Upon hearing, so alingan, that's a nice word to learn. Right? Yeah, you know all these words. Alingan, right? Embrace, a hug. Sometimes Gurudev would just say, like when you're speaking in English, right? He would just say alingan, like that. So you hear that word a lot, Actually, it would be interesting to see like all the words that are most often used in Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, because it would show like how ecstatic it is, right? Prema is going to have the top ranking, Chamatkar, that's another one. Astonishment, dancing, prasad. Ananda, yes. As soon as the king recited the verse beginning with the words Tava Katamritam, the Lord immediately arose in ecstatic love and embraced him. Tumi more dile bahu amulya ratan, more kichu dite nahi dilu alingan. Another one, alingan. Lots of alingan. Upon hearing the verses recited by the king, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you have given me invaluable gems. So Mahaprabhu was like half conscious. Right? He's not quite aware of course, he knows everything, but at another level, he doesn't know. So he's not exactly conscious that it's the king, right, who's reciting these verses. So you've given me invaluable gems, but I have nothing to give you in return. Therefore, I'm simply embracing you. All I can do is embrace you. I have nothing to give you.
And also the king is not wearing his royal dress.
That's right, yes. He's undercover. Yeah. Ita boli se shlok pode bar bar Dui janarange kampa netre jalandar. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to recite the same verse again and again. Both the king and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were trembling, and tears were flowing from their eyes. Now this is the verse from Bhagavatam. You know this verse, right? Could you have it memorized? You want to say it?
Caitanya-Caritāmṛtam tapta jivanam Kavirāja kama shapanam Shravana mangalam Śrīmad atatam Bhuvi
Grinanti.
Burida janaha.
J. Yeah, J. Burida janaha. Yeah, nice. Gurudev liked this verse. So it's spoken by the Braja Gopis, glorifying the nectarian, Harikatha, talks about Lord Krishna and how it is the purifier of all darkness and the giver of all joy, right? So it is glorifying Harikatha, actually. My Lord, the nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul who are always aggrieved in this material world. These narrations are transmitted by exalted personalities, and they eradicate all sinful reactions. Whoever hears these narrations attains all good fortune. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Those who spread the message of Godhead are certainly the most munificent welfare workers. So this verse, it's actually one that's become fairly well known, right, amongst our, community, and is quoted fairly often by our gurus. And I think because this one crucial point is mentioned, that this is the greatest philanthropy, right? That there are many conceptions of generosity, charity, philanthropy in this world. But here it's being stated that actually this is real welfare work, right? This is real charity, to give people the news of their eternal wealth and their eternal life, right? So the people who are spreading this message, they are the most generous, they are the greatest philanthropists in this world. So I think this may be one of the reasons why this verse has become so often quoted. Bodhida. So this word bodhida is referring to a generous person, right? So Mahaprabhu's, he's very caught by that word. Bodhida, bodhida, bodhi, bodhida, bodhida, bodhi, kode alingan. Another alingan. Iho nahi jane iho, hoy kon jan. After hearing the recitation of this verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately embraced the reciter, King Prataparudra, and cried, "You are the most munificent, most generous, Buddhida." Oh, so I see Mahaprabhu's taking that word and saying, you are most generous, right? Because the verse is describing in a general way, right? People who are spreading the news of the Lord, they are Buddhida, they are generous. But Mahaprabhu is saying, you are Buddhida, you are generous, because you're bringing me alive with this verse, with this chanting, right? So he's embracing the king. You are the most munificent. You are the most munificent. At this point, Mahaprabhu did not even know who the king was. Purva seva dekitade kripa upajilo, panusandan vina kripa prasad korilo. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy was aroused because of the king's previous service. Therefore, without even asking who he was, the Lord immediately bestowed his mercy upon him. Edeka Chaitanya Kripa Mahamal Tanusandan Vina Kodai Safal. How powerful is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without even inquiring about the Lord, the king made everything successful. Prabhu bole ke tumi gorila mohita achambite asipya Kṛṣṇadāsa. Finally, Mahaprabhu said, "Who are you you have done so much for me. All of a sudden you've come here and made me drink the nectar of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Who is this mysterious benefactor? Who are you? Ke tumi? Raja kohe ami tomar daser anudas, britya koro e moras. Very good answer. The king replied, "My lord, I am the most obedient servant of your servants. It is my ambition that you will accept me as the servant of your servants." Tabe Mahaprabhu tade aishwarya dekailo, kade ho na kohibe nisheda korilo. At that time, Mahaprabhu displayed some of his divine opulences to the king, and he forbade him to disclose this to anyone. So we hear some occasions, a few occasions like this, right? When Mahaprabhu is, secretly revealing something of his identity, his divinity to some special devotee. So the king here is blessed in this way. Raja heno gyan kabo, Raja heno gyan kabo na koilo prakash, antare sakal janen bahide udas. Although within his heart Mahaprabhu knew everything that was happening, externally he did not disclose it, nor did he disclose that he knew he was talking with King Prataparuja. Prataparuja bhagya deki bhakta gane, rajare pashamse sabe anandita mane. Seeing the Lord's special mercy upon King Prataparuja, the devotees praised the Lord's fortune and their minds became open and blissful. So nobody was envious, right? They're very happy. They were very happy to see the king is receiving so much mercy. They're not envious. Gosvāmī Maharshi also says that. Purport, this is a characteristic of a Vaishnava. He is never envious if one received the mercy and strength of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A pure Vaishnava is very happy to see a person elevated in devotional service. Unfortunately, there are so many so-called Vaishnavas who become envious to see someone actually recognized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is a fact that no one can preach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message without receiving the special mercy of the Lord. This is known to every Vaishnava. Yet there are some envious people who cannot tolerate the expansion of this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. They find fault with the pure devotee preacher and do not praise him for the excellent service he renders in fulfilling Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So again here it sounds like Srila Swami Maharaj is speaking about his yesterday there was another verse that we were feeling also. He's sharing his heart, right? Because actually Swami Maharaj, we know, he sadly had to face envy, right? From persons who he thought would be very happy and encouraging, right? So that is a sad thing, isn't it? Dandavat Kavirāja bahire cholila, jodahasta kodisa bhaktere Vṛndāvana. Submissively offering prayers to the devotees with folded hands and offering obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the king went outside. Vadyan Godila Prabhu loya bhaktagan, Vaninat prasad loya koilo agaman. After this, Vaninat Rai brought all kinds of prasad, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted lunch with the devotees. Sarvabhauma Ramananda Vaninate Diya Prasad Patala Raja Bahut Koriya. The king also sent a large quantity of prasad to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, and Vaninath Rai. Palagandi Bhogeda Prasad Uttamananta Nisakadi Prasadailo Jarnahiyanta. The prasad sent by the king had been offered at the Balagandi festival and included uncooked milk products and fruits. It was all of the finest quality and there was no end to the variety. Channa panna paida amra narikela katala Nanavida Kadalaka Bijatala. There was curd, fruit juice, coconut, mango, dried coconut, jackfruit, various kinds of bananas, and palm fruit seeds. Naranga, Cholanga, Taba, Kamala, Bijapur, Badam, Chohara, Draksha, Pinda, Kajur. There were also oranges, grapefruits, tangerines, almonds, dried fruit, raisins, and dates. Very opulent. Manohara, Laduadi, Sotek Prakar, Amrita Gutikadi, Kirasahapar. There were hundreds of different types of sweets, like Manohar Ladu, sweets like Amrita Gutika, and various types of condensed milk. Amrita Manda Saravati Ar Kumda Kodi, Saramrita Sarabhajar Sanapodi. There were also papayas and saravati, a type of orange, and also crushed squash. There was also regular cream, fried cream, and a type of puri made with cream. Fried cream, wow, puris with cream, and regular cream too. What do you think, Madhu Krishna?
Planning to make for the Lord.
Every temple needs a Madhu Krishna.
Yeah. That's what I said. I'm so glad we have a Madhu.
There's a sweet called Hari Vallabha also. Never heard? Yeah, it's a sweet. It's like a donut. It says here. It's bread fried in ghee with some like sugar syrup or something. Hari Vallabha Senoti Karpur Malati Dalima Maricha Ladu Navata Amriti. There were also sweets like Hari Vallabha. And in the purport it says, the sweet meat like bread fried in ghee, like a donut. And sweets made of senoti flowers, karpur flowers, and malati flowers. Wow, this is very opulent. Very, very opulent. Like very gourmet, only the best.
Very good.
There were pomegranates, sweets made with black pepper, sweets made with fused sugar, and amrita jalebi. That fused sugar, that maybe is referring to, what's that one sweet called? Do you remember, Didi? It's like flaky, kind of flaky.
Oh, Shanghai.
Yeah, sampapri. That's what I was thinking of. What did you say?
Oh no, I thought it was that sweet from Jagannath Puri, the famous sweet.
Oh, that. No, that's something
that's
else, yeah.
Flaky, a little bit flaky,
But it's a lot of wheat, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is like a lot of sugar, isn't it?
Yes, just sugar.
I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Sampapri.
Sampapri, yeah, that's a very special food. Have you tried sampapri?
I'm sure,
No.
yeah.
She probably has, yeah.
Yeah, it comes sometimes at a temple.
It's very nice. Padmajini, we're only just getting started, okay? See, Gopal laughed, oh, this is too much. I'm hungry. Before breakfast, it's a good time. Padmajini, Chandrakanti, Kaja. That's the one you're thinking of, Kaja. How do you describe
It's like
it?
a puff pastry.
Yeah.
Dipped in
And
syrup.
sugar, yeah, syrup,
And
yeah.
spread with sugar as well. It's kind of the famous Jagannath Puri,
Yes,
sweet.
yes. So that's Kaja, isn't it? Padmachini Chandrakanti Kaja Kandasa Vidyadi Kadmatila Kaja Prakar. There was lotus flower sugar. Lotus flower sugar. Padma chini. You remember chini, right?
Chini.
Sugar. So Padma, it's a sugar that's somehow extracted from lotus flowers. Wow.
That is something for Sachi Didi.
Yeah.
Tachididi looks like a lotus flower today. Doesn't she? There was lotus flower sugar, a kind of bread made from urd dal, crispy sweetmeats, sugar candy, fried rice sweets, sesame seed sweets, and cookies made from sesame seeds. Tila kajar, tila sesame.
We always get those sesame sweets made by one Bengali devotee, Durga. She always brings
Okay, okay.
different shapes,
Aha.
shapes, heart shapes.
Aha. Naranga cholangambra vikshede akar fulafol patra jukta kande vikar. There were sweetmeats made from sugarcane candy in the form of oranges, lemons and mangoes along with fruits, flowers and leaves. Dadi dugda nani takra rasala shikanini salavan mudgankur adakani kani. There was yogurt, milk, butter, buttermilk, fruit juice. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
These are all the offerings that they do offer to Lord Jagannath. Well, they do 50 offerings every time.
I think 64
Is it 64?
in the day offerings. Oh, but how many preparations in each offering? I don't know.
Right, so they have a variety.
Yeah, there's a variety. I don't know if this is like a special thing for Rath Yatra or how did this begin? This was for the Bala Gandhi festival. I don't know what that is. But it may just be that one particular offering and that happens every day. Could be. Because I think each offering has a particular name. Right? But I'm also wondering, like, because all of these are all kind of like sweet. There's like the variety is incredible. This is all just the sweet offering, right? And then other parts of Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, you hear about so many savory preparations, right? I mean, like, there must be several hundred different types of preparations mentioned in Caitanya-Caritāmṛta. Really, I always think Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, it's everything. Like, it's so complete. You know, there's even the element of a transcendental cookbook. There were sweetmeats made from sugarcane candy in the form of oranges. Also, what do you call it? Like crystallized fruits? Is that what it's called?
Dried fruit.
No, but it's not just dried. It's
sugar.
Yeah, with sugar.
And it's crystallized.
Yeah. Lemons. Oh, I read that already. There was yogurt, milk, butter, buttermilk, fruit juice. A preparation made of fried yogurt and sugar candy and salty mung dal sprouts with shredded ginger. So now this is for digestion. Right? Everything's been thought of here. So there's also sprouts with ginger too. Lembu kuladi nana prakarachar likite napadi prashad kote prakar. There were also various types of pickles. So now we're in the digestive section. Pickles will help you digest everything. Lemon pickle, berry pickle, and so on. I am not able to describe the variety of food offered to Lord Jagannath. Purport. In verses 26 to 34, the author describes the various foods offered to Lord Jagannath. He He has described them as far as possible, but he finally admits his inability to describe them completely.
It's unlimited, right?
Unlimited. It's funny how Swami Maharaj takes it very seriously. He's unable to describe them all too much.
We don't hear so much about the humble nut.
Huh. Yeah, maybe nuts weren't really... Actually, Ayurveda, I don't think likes nuts that much.
It's heavy, huh?
Yeah, I think, isn't it... I remember you telling me that it recommends 5 almonds a day, something like that in Ayurveda.
Yeah,
So,
with honey.
With honey.
Soaked.
Soaked.
And then
Wow.
peel them, and then with honey.
Wow. So yeah, I think they're considered very heavy for the digestion. So, yeah, that's actually an interesting point, isn't it? Doesn't really mention nuts. Pashare podita hoila arda upavam, dekhiya santosh hoilo Mahaprabhurman. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw half the garden filled with a variety of prasad, he was very satisfied. So this is like a full, full, half the garden. Full spread. And what's also interesting is because at that time, they didn't have potatoes, they didn't have tomatoes, they didn't have chilies even, that as we know them today, right? And those, nowadays, those are the main, or some of the main ingredients that are used, right? But we get some idea of how much variety, right, there was without that.
Different types of spinach they have.
That's right, yeah.
No aubergine.
Right, no aubergine, no eggplant, yeah. That's right.
Maybe other vegetables and fruit that are not there.
Yeah, I think more variety of root vegetables. And
Yeah.
But they do make a special burfi with cashew.
That's right.
Cashew burfi.
That's right. There's that made with cashews, yeah, that's true. What happened? Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was fully satisfied just to see how Lord Jagannath accepted all the food. Kaya patra jone ailo bhoja pancha sat, eka jane dash, dona dilo etapat. There then arrived 5 or 7 loads of plates made of the leaves of the Caitanya-Caritāmṛta. Jai Shri Grangasandhar Ki Jai. That's interesting. Normally we see the banana leaf plates, right? But it's mentioning here the Caitanya-Caritāmṛta. We don't know that, do we? It's interesting. Each man was supplied 10 of these plates. Each person had 10 plates. That's what it's saying. Wow. And in this way, the dishes were served. Wow. That's what it says.
Maybe small ones, like what we see, the ones that are put together with
Right. Kirtaniya parishnam jani gora rai, tasabade kao jaite prabhur manadai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood the labor of all the kirtan chanters. Therefore, he was very eager to feed them sumptuously. Patti patti kori bhakta gane vasaila, pariveshan kori bare apane lagila. Pandita, now we have you with us. This Chandra Bindu business, Yesterday in our program, yesterday evening, we were discussing a little the whole history, right? How it was left out of the transliteration in these early books. And So this word, can you say how you actually pronounce that? This pati.
Yeah, you wouldn't say the end. You would just say like a tiny nasal.
Yeah, I think I can't even say that sound actually.
I can't either.
Because it's not just like a normal long A. That's kind of how I do it, pati.
Yeah.
But it's...
But it was a little bit of a nasal.
Can you say it? Yeah.
I probably won't say it properly.
It's difficult, huh? Party. Yeah, it's difficult. Some of these sounds we just don't have, you know. So it's hard to learn a sound you've never spoken before. But this end business has made things really unnecessarily complicated. All of our devotees, they still say tanha, and janha. Even though, like now we have it corrected in our newer kirtan guys, but it's already ingrained in a lot of people's minds. So, yanha, right? Instead of kandiya. But the kandiya is the only one I feel like the end sound is a little pronounced. Okay. Do you think, or I don't know. From my experience, I have to check, but I feel like it's the only word where you do hear more of a pronounced end sound. But maybe I have to check that.
Maybe it's also affected by that the D follows it.
Okay.
You know, all of it is so
connected. Right. It's true. Patti Gori Bhakta Gane Bosaila Pariveshan Gori Bade Apane Lagila. All the devotees sat down in lines. So this pati is referring to lines. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally began to distribute the prasad. Prabhu na kaile keho na kore bojam. This is the problem, right? If Mahaprabhu is not eating, how can anyone else eat? Sarup Gosai tobe koilo nivedan. However, the devotees could not accept the prasad until Mahaprabhu took it. It was Srup Gosvāmī who informed the Lord of this. Apane Vaisa Prabhu Bhojan Korite Tumina Kaile Keho Napa De Kaite. Srup Damodar said, "My Lord, would you please sit down? No one will eat until you do." Tobe Mahaprabhu Vaise Nijagana Loya Bhojan Korailo Sabake Akanta Podiya. This is another word that comes up last. Akanta. Up to the neck. Kanta is neck, like we say kunti mala, right? Are we pronouncing that right? Kunti mala? Maybe it's actually kanti. Kanti mala.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So this kanta is the neck, and then akanta, like going beyond the neck? I'm not sure. Up to the neck, at least. At that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down with his personal associates and fed every one of them sumptuously until they were filled to the necks. Bhojan Gori Bosila Prabhu Gori Achaman Prasadu Parilokai Sahasre Kajan. After finishing, the Lord washed his mouth and sat down. There was so much extra prasad that it was distributed to thousands. Prabhu Agyai Govinda Dina Hina Jane Duki. Chandra Bindu again. Duki Kagal. Duki Kangalani Kodai. Yeah, I think maybe it's because of here it's a G. But I feel like here somehow the N helps a little bit. Maybe it does depend on what consonant follows. Huh? Like the pati one, it was okay. Yeah. But yeah, here, kagal, it doesn't sound right, does it? Kangal is blanket, right? Oh no, beggars. Oh, I'm thinking of kambal. Kambal is blanket, right? Duki kangalani korai bhojane. Following the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Govinda, his personal servant, called for all the poor beggars who were unhappy due to their poverty and fed them sumptuously. Kangale bhojan ranga deke gora hari, hari bol boli tare upadesha kori. Observing the beggars eating prasad. So this is also here, prasadam distribution. This is also mentioned, Caitanya-Caritāmṛta. Mahaprabhu chanted, observing the beggars eating prasad, Mahaprabhu chanted, Hari Bol, and instructed them to chant the holy name. Hari Bol, Boli, Kangal, Preme Basi Jai, Aichan Adbhut Lila, Kore Gaura. As soon as the beggars chanted the holy name, Hari Bol, they were immediately absorbed in ecstatic love of Godhead. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed wonderful pastimes. And Gurudev mentioned this actually, that because of Mahaprabhu's potency, when he would give the holy name to someone, they would immediately receive it. Because the intensity of his Hari Nam was so strong. And he said they wouldn't have any chance to commit aparad. There was no gap, where they had any opportunity to commit offense, which would obstruct the actual chanting, right? But Mahaprabhu is shining that ray, and they're immediately receiving it, immediately chanting the holy name, the pure name, and experiencing divine ecstasy. Well, actually, maybe that's a good place to stop. Now we're going to hear about another pastime with the Jagannath car. So we'll stop there. Any comments or questions? Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Jai! Jai Shri Caitanya-Caritāmṛta ki Jai, Shri Krishna's Kavirāja Gosvāmī ki Jai. Someone want to chat? Pandita?
Hari Hari Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hari Hari Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Yadhavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Yadhavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya. Radha Jai Sabarikara Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhari Ji ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Jai Shri Caitanya-Caritāmṛta ki Jai. Jai Shri Prasada Seva ki Jai. Vishakha Devi ki Jai. All assembled